We're in the gate. And they're off. Prince of Del Mar out quickly. Call Me Sir along the inside, and Volatile Storm joins them, moving up on the outside to take second. They're followed by Night Out, who's immediately guided a bit off the rail. American Glory keeps him inside. They're followed by Coming In a Little Hot and Prince Dolce at the back. The pace is honest, and it's Prince of Del Mar leading the way by almost 3 lengths to Volatile Storm in second. Call Me Sir is down at the rail, a close-up third. Then Night Out and American Glory side by side, 3 clear of Coming In a Little Hot and Prince Dolce. They swing on to the Santa Anita backstretch, and it is Prince of Del Mar leading by 2 lengths. Volatile Storm is in second. Call Me Sir holding his own at the rail third. American Glory now clearly fourth, with Night Out down at the rail fifth past a half-mile pole, 4 lengths off the lead. A length and a half Coming In a Little Hot and Prince Dolce. Into the far turn, Prince of Del Mar, 2-length advantage most of the way. Call Me Sir trying to get out of there on the inside. Volatile Storm still second. On the extreme outside, Coming In a Little Hot is making an early bid. He is now all the way up to take fourth with a quarter of a mile to go. And the favorite, Night Out, gets some racing room. He's going to angle out for the drive there at the top of the stretch. He's still in tight inside, Coming In a Little Hot, as American Glory is the new leader coming to the 16th pole, collaring Prince of Del Mar. Call Me Sir, Night Out late. It is American Glory. Night Out really getting going, but out of time. American Glory and Diego Herrera upset them in the opener. Night Out was second. Battle for third included Prince of Del Mar, Call Me Sir, and Prince Dolce. They're in the gate. And they're off. And Timekeeper's Charm, very alert out of the gate. Passed, though, by Sexy Blues, a little bit quicker, and now opens up a couple. Bebop Lady is a clear-cut third. My Sister Lily, fourth. Then comes Green Zone, Joyful Mischief, and it's a distance to Reckless Ride. They run down the backstretch in Timekeeper's Charm, putting serious pressure on Sexy Blue. They're 4 lengths clear of Bebop Lady in third. Down at the rail, Green Zone is clearly into fourth. Joyful Mischief is 2 lengths behind her. They are followed by My Sister Lily and Reckless Ride. Midway on the far turn, Timekeeper's Charm on the outside, and Sexy Blue 4 lengths back to the firster, Bebop Lady, who's trying to cut into that margin. A distance back to Joyful Mischief, who's a clear-cut fourth. They turn for home. Timekeeper's Charm on the outside gets the upper hand on Sexy Blue. Then Bebop Lady and Joyful Mischief still finishing nicely, moving into third late. But it is Timekeeper's Charm. Timekeeper's Charm, much too good. Handridden to a rop. Joyful Mischief was a solid second. Sexy Blue third. Bebop Lady checked in fourth. Up next, race 3. Post time and Ham's Little Angel to the outside. And they're off. It's a fast start for Don't You Forget, Shangri-La in between, but Tam's Little Angel is quicker than most and sprints out across the dirt and opens up a couple of lengths. Shangri-La now second with Elegant Sway in third. Then comes Shin Jedi moving up on the outside fourth. Don't You Forget in a little bit tight and uncomfortable in fifth at this stage, 4 lengths off the lead and 3/4 to Ready, Jet, Go. Past the half-mile pole, and Tam's Little Angel makes it over to the rail and has it by 2 lengths. Shin Jedi on the outside, Elegant Sway between, and Shangri-La at the rail, now a clear-cut third. Ready, Jet, Go is next. And Don't You Forget, 6 off the leader. Coming to the quarter pole, Tam's Little Angel, confronted by Shin Jedi. And Shin Jedi on the outside is up to take a narrow lead. Shangri-Lama in the pink silks, 2 lengths behind them in third. They're followed by Elegant Sway. They're in the final furlong. And Tam's Little Angel trying to come back on the inside of Shin Jedi, and she's done just that. Shangri-Lama on the inside is coming fast now. Driving finish. Tam's Little Angel in between. Tam's Little Angel. What a gutsy victory. Photo between Shangri-Lama and Shin Jedi. Faithful Truth to the outside. In the gate. And they're off. Petite Ange is the first one out of the gate with plenty of company as Westside Okie now comes along with Lena Lingard, and these two have sped 2 lengths clear. Lil Boom Boom now third. Petite Ange a close up fourth, 3 lengths off the lead. Then Countess Bronski. Mia Mack is down at the rail, followed by A Kitten for Sue. Faithful Truth is second to last. And at the back of the field now, Selsay. They have 3 furlongs to go. Lena Lingard on the outside narrowly. West Side Okie keeping pace, just a neck back second. 2 more Lil Boom Booms had a good trip in third. And they're followed by Petite Ange fourth. A gap of 4 back to Mia Mack, who races on the inside. They turn for home, and Lena Lingard goes on now. Gets the best of West Side Okie in second. Here's Lil Boom Boom with threatening strides, though. And Lil Boom Boom on the outside is up to take the lead, coming to the 16th pole from Lena Lingard in second. Selsay is flying home on the outside, but way too late for Lil Boom Boom, who scores by almost 3. Lena Lingard was second. Third went to Selsay, and Petite Ange finished fourth. It's a Steve Miotti exacta. In the gate. And they're off. Humidity was off slowly. Drewliner broke very alertly and will go straight to the front, headed quickly by 80s. 80s takes the lead by the stands the first time. Violet Song a clear-cut second, and Drewliner is going to get a perfect setup in third. Nancy 2.0 moves up widest of all. Cecilia Street in the green is right next to her. Training Good is second to last, and Humidity trails. 80s is the clear-cut leader over Violet Song as they move past the 6 furlong pole. Nancy 2.0 is in third. Drewliner along the rail in fourth. Then it's Cecilia Street, 6 lengths off the leader. Training Good is second to last, and Humidity is 8 lengths off the lead. They straighten up for the run down the backstretch in 80s, and Umberto Rispoli clear by almost 3 lengths to Violet Song in second. Nancy 2.0 racing side by side with Drewliner with less than a half mile to go. It's another 2 back to Training Good on the inside of Cecilia Street, and Humidity has trailed throughout. Into the far turn, chasing 80s. 80s still in charge, leads it by 2 lengths. Violet Song is in second. Drewliner now gets third to herself. Nancy 2.0 under pressure, not responding at this stage. Cecilia Street, Training Good, and Humidity. There hasn't been much change. They turn for home. 80s still to catch. 2.5 length lead with 1 furlong to finish the job. Still running on well. Drewliner is now kicking in on the outside, moving into second, but 80s has a 4-length lead. 80s, Drewliner, Cecilia Street, Humidity is coming late, but they're all battling for minor awards behind 80s, who made every polo winning one, reporting home 4.5 lengths clear. Drewliner was second, Cecilia Street up for third, fourth between Training Good and Humidity. They're all in line. And they're off. Italio is very quick, but it's an even break with several vying for command, including Opus Uno and Saul Elliott at the rail, a close-up third. Marco's Performance, followed by Stay for the Boom, racing between rivals, 5th and 4 off the lead. Then AP again, very quiet, gets a nudge at the back of the field. And the leader is Opus Uno, past the half-mile pole. Peter Miller first and last, as Opus Uno leads it by 2 lengths. Between rivals, Marco's Performance, Italio on the outside, and Saul Elliott at the rail. Those three right across the track. Then comes AP again, Stay for the Boom, and 7 more to Very Quiet. Approaching the quarter pole, and it's Opus Uno leading by a length. On the outside, Italio trying to challenge in second. They're followed by Saul Elliott, Marco's Performance in between horses. Extreme outside, AP again. They're in the final furlong. Opus Uno a length. Saul Elliott with a clear shot, grinding away at him on the outside. They're followed by Italio in third, and Saul Elliott is up to take the lead close to home. Opus Uno's fighting back. It's going to be close. Head bob to the wire, and it goes to Opus Uno in the Kegel Orange, defeating Saul Elliott in a thriller. Italio a distant third. Waiting on Stormin' Midnight. And they're off. And it's going viral, sprinting out for the early lead. Crime Lord has good early foot, and Lorenzo Bernini has hustled pretty hard for early foot and is now up to take that second spot. So it will be Crime Lord, the leader. In tight a bit, Lorenzo Bernini, who wants to get after that leader and will switch to his outside. They are followed by Grandissimo, who's down at the rail in third. Then comes Going Viral, Sweet Odyssey 4 wide, but moving up to take 5th. Followed by Both Sides of Bad. Money Mitch is down on the inside. Stormin' Midnight second to last, and moving up, an Empire's Classic at the back of the field. Down the back stretch, and it's Crime Lord and Lorenzo Bernini, a half length back and still tugging second. 3 more to Grandissimo in third as they've passed the half-mile pole. Going Viral is racing fourth, 4 lengths off the leader. Another length and a half behind them to Both Sides of Bad and Sweet Odyssey. 2 more, 3 wide. Stormin' Midnight, Empire's Classic, and that leaves Money Mitch now trailing. Moving around the far turn, Crime Lord Lorenzo Bernini under pressure now in second. They're followed by Going Viral. Empire's Classic is making headway, while widest of all, and so is Sweet Odyssey with the white blinkers. In behind horses, Both Sides of Bad. It's wide open. Lorenzo Bernini emerges with the lead. On the outside, Empire's Classic keeps on coming, and Sweet Odyssey in between them. Empire's Classic with a beautiful rally will get there. And that's another for Kazushi Kimura. Sweet Odyssey finished second. Lorenzo Bernini and Both Sides of Bad. Or at the casino box office while they're still available. See Mr. Worldwide himself, Pitbull, on November 24th. You in? Must be 21. In the gate. And they're off. Put Her on My Tab was one of the first out of the gate. Tiger Fire now emerges with a narrow lead. Tupelo is up close and down at the rail. Here comes Moonlit Courage to join the party and be a joint second. Dixie's Delight is fourth, 4 lengths off the lead, followed by Put Her on My Tab, Ride Elbow Ranch on the outside. Royal Dusty between those two. Lucky Nia moves through inside of that pair. The 2 trailers are Surf Star, and Circle of Fire is the distant trailer. 3 furlongs out, Tiger Fire leads a length and a half. Tupelo's set down in second. At the rail, it's Moonlit Courage and Dixie's Delight, 3.5 or so off the pace in fourth. Lucky Nia takes fifth. Ride Elbow Ranch on the outside of Royal Dusty. Another half dozen to Put Her on My Tab. Circle of Fire and Surf Star. They're heading to the 8th pole with Tiger Fire to catch. 4-length lead. Tupelo on the outside and Moonlit Courage are trying their best. 16th pole. Tiger Fire and Respoli with a 4-length and insurmountable lead. Tiger Fire, much the best. Tupelo was second. Moonlit Courage third. Photo for fourth between Lucky Nia and Ride Elbow Ranch. In the gate. And they're off in the lure. St. Anthony is quick out of the gate. Here's Goliad, though, and Goliad is the fastest. Watsonville comes away in second, and Sumter racing in third. St. Anthony broke well, now settles 5 lengths off the speedy Goliad. Then Mystic Spirit, and the early trailer is Nesso's Last Hurrah. It's Goliad with a very easy lead, and he's opened up to be in front by 4.5 lengths. Goliad well clear onto the backstretch. Sumter races in third. It's another 3 lengths back to St. Anthony, racing side by side with Mystic Spirit. And then another 3 or 4 back to Nesso's Last Hurrah. Goliad goes past the half-mile pole with an expanding lead. He's up to double digits in front, with Watsonville in second and Sumter a length behind him. St. Anthony, Mystic Spirit, and now 8 more to Nesso's Last Hurrah. Approaching the quarter pole, and Goliad's lead is shrinking with each and every stride. And here comes his stablemate, Sumter, and Sumter runs right by Goliad at the top of the stretch. Watsonville swings into action. St. Anthony down on the fence. They're in the final furlong, and it's Sumter with a 5-length lead. Who better than Mike Smith to win the Lure Stakes? It's Sumter all alone. St. Anthony's second, Watsonville third, Goliad was fourth. And they're off. It was an even beginning. Lady Gregory, Brookie's Gal on the extreme outside. Here's Perfect Life now sprinting up, and Stay in Line is quicker than all. So Stay in Line is the leader down the back stretch, with Brookie's Gal, and Mars Magic is racing in between those two. They are followed by Crystal Clean. Lady Gregory now fifth, but just 3 lengths off the lead. Darlin Tammy on the outside of Perfect Life are racing side by side. Joined 3 wide by In the Air Tonight, who's trying to make some headway. The 2 trailers are Smart Monique and Coral Gables Kalen at the back of the field. It's Welfin Orantes and Stay in Line taking them the quarter pole, a length and a half in front. Brookie's Gal is in second. Down at the rail, Crystal Clean is in third, has 3 lengths to make up as they come past the 8th pole, and the lead belongs to Stay in Line. Now Crystal Clean angles out, trying to take another crack, but Stay in Line just keeps on going strong on the front end. 16th pole, and Stay in Line is home free. Stay in Line wins it by 3. Crystal Clean was second, Brookie's Gal third, 4th went to In the Air Tonight, and it's a photo for 5th, Perfect Life, and Smart Monique to complete the super high five.
What's happening, everybody? It's a beautiful Sunday here in Arcadia, California. Delighted that you decided to join us on a good 9-race card. And of course, we're just 12 days away from Breeders' Cup Day number 1 on Halloween, Friday, October 31st, down at Del Mar Thoroughbred Club. All of us, of course, watching the seminar are looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to hearing the opinions of our seminar guest for the next 38 minutes. He's an equine scout. His name, Larry Zapp. Larry, happy Sunday. Welcome to the seminar.
Good being here, Tom. Indiana Hoosiers, number 2 in the country.
I thought you guys were a basketball team. Suddenly you're a football team.
When you can pay people above the table, Indiana University athletics moves way up. Our basketball is right behind the football. DeVries is the new coach there, but Signetti, have you seen anything like this?
They just signed him to a big contract. They wanted to make sure he stuck around in Bloomington, Indiana.
They were talking Florida. They were talking Penn State, because he's from Pennsylvania. And you know who Dan Dockage is?
Of course.
He once actually coached Indiana, played there.
Very famous commentator.
He said, why would you leave Indiana with the beautiful girls, great nightlife, and just a beautiful campus, and now a great football team?
Since you're paying above the table, who are some of the big donors? Who are some of the big alumni? Have they been identified? You know, we know Portnoy is aligned with Michigan. Who's aligned with Indiana?
It's a lob question. You know the answer. Mark Cuban and his business partner. There's 2 billionaires. You know what Indiana's known for? It's a good soccer school. It's a good soccer school and sports. They have a history of that, Doc Councilman, and swimming. But they're a business school. We create businessmen in Indianapolis, Chicago. We create wealth. And we got Mark Cuban and his partner, and they're billionaires, Tom. And I know that Mr. Rapoli's on the Rick Pitino St. John's bandwagon, but Indiana's made a commitment to having a great football team, and lo and behold, number 2.
We're looking for you to create wealth for us today, Larry. Maybe not only today, but also for Breeders' Cup. So let's kind of dive into Breeders' Cup before we get the scratches from track announcer Frank Miramati. Yesterday, we had a couple of Breeders' Cup hopefuls work right here at St. Anne, and thankfully, courtesy of our partner, FirstTV.com, we can watch those workouts even though I don't get up early in the morning. The first one we're watching, Larry, here is Copian. Now, Copian is in the rear here to start the workout. She's going to go to the outside and then come back down on the inside as they turn for home. But as you're watching this workout, there's some things, in my opinion, that you need to look at. First of all, take a look at the gorilla, the exercise rider on Copian. I don't think that was me or you, but it looks like a person shaped with our sort of body shape, because this is a large exercise rider. You just compare him to the exercise rider on the Workmate, Grace by Faith. He's at least another 100 pounds heavier. Also, take a look at the hold that the exercise rider has on Copian. This is the position now where I was talking about, now Copian shifting down to the rail. And once Copian sees this open path and turns for home, she explodes. Now, Richard Mandela, her trainer, is pointing her to the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint race. And I'll tell you what, Larry, I haven't seen workers for the other entrants in the race, but this kind of took my breath away. It's not so much that she's distancing herself from her workmates. It's the final time of the clocking with very little urging. To me, visually, this was very impressive.
That's an A work. You could almost call it an A+ work. Copian, we learned when Tamara, who's gonna run the same race for Mandela, the daughter of Beholder, we learned when she had to take her place in the La Brea last year, and going forward to Derby weekend when she was 8 on the line and we're all salivating and she went off, I think, at 2. Copian's a beast. That's the best she's ever looked, Tom. And 7/8 of a mile hits her right between the eyes, and she might be the single of the day.
Richard Mandela knows how to get a horse ready for a big race, but I'll tell you what, John Sheriffs also does as well. And yesterday, also in the morning here at St. Anita, Baeza worked, and again, courtesy of our friends at FirstTV.com. This is a different type of workout, and I also thought this was very impressive. Again, you can see the final time is much slower, but keep in mind, Baeza, the 3-year-old, is getting ready for the 1.25 Mile Classic, the work we just saw before for Copian. She's getting ready for a sprint race. So it's two very different dynamics. And Larry Baeza, I'm on record as saying, this is my favorite 3-year-old of the crop. He wasn't born until May, so he's still maturing both physically and mentally. And I think he's starting to put it all together. Like I said, John Sheriffs is, in my opinion, the most patient trainer we might have in Southern California. So he's slowly bringing Baeza up to the Breeders' Cup Classic. Now, the competition is incredibly deep. I would hope that Baeza could hit the board. I want to take a look at the past performances, but I think this 3-year-old is going in the right direction.
He absolutely is. You know, his mother, Dam, is Puka.
I've heard of her. Yeah, she's a blue hen.
She's a blue hen in a very short period of time. I mean, Dornich and Mage are the half brothers to this horse. Look at this horse. This is a 2-minute lick. in 14 and change. I don't know what they got the mile in, but 2-minute licks are when you go around and gallop a little faster than a normal gallop. You go a mile in 2 minutes. This guy probably went a mile in 39, and he does it effortlessly. I mean, he's so angular. And, this is the best crop of 3-year-olds we've seen. Obviously, Sovereignty, obviously Journalism, and Baeza, what we saw in the Derby. This is like the Curlin, the Hard Spun, and Street Sense crop.
Correct.
They had a couple other good ones in that crop, but these 3 are standouts, and they are ready to take on Tom, the top 3 finishers from last year's Breeders' Cup Classic.
Fierceness, Forever Young,
and the winner, Sierra Leone.
Correct. They're
all back against these 3-year-olds. This, it's a cliche to say this might be the best Breeders' Cup Classic of all time, but if those 6 horses go in there, this could be the best Breeders' Cup Classic of all time. This is an exceptional 3-year-old crop. That was an exceptional breeze, and he's playing catch-up, like you said. Journalism got a new rider, Jose Ortiz, replacing Rispoli, which I'd be interested to know how they huddled that one up. And Sovereignty is Sovereignty, who is odds-on favorite for Horse of the Year. Mindframe is also in the race. I didn't even throw him in, and he's won 2 grade 1s, and when he's not dropping riders, he's pretty tough.
Now, those are the 3-year-olds. That's the Breeders' Cup Classic and the Filly Mare Sprint. But the ones that we don't know a whole lot about are the 2-year-olds, both in the juvenile and the juvenile filly division. I know you've got your eye on at least 1 or 2 runners in maybe both of those categories. We've got about 2 minutes left. Who are they, and why do you like them?
I was sitting with Andy Harrington, who I know did your show in the last week about before the American Pharoah. Mm-hmm. And Baffert walks up to Andy. I know he wants my input, but he walks up and talks directly at Andy, because it's kind of the way people do things around here.
Indirectly.
Like, I don't show up every morning like I used to. And he goes, which one of my 4 horses? And I go, is going to finish second to Jeff Mullins?
Intrepido.
And I said that to him. He looked at me like, where are you coming from? Go back to go back home. And so Intrepido.
They didn't give him the answer he wanted.
Who had a rough trip in the American Pharoah, of which we were showing that replay, but that horse kicked it in late. And let me tell you, Ted Noffey, Ned Toffee, okay, you know what I'm saying. That horse is
the morning line favorite.
That horse is really good. Brandt is really good, but I think they might hook up into the far turn. Horse like Intrepido could get the trip, and my buddy Mike Pender, who's been doing a heck of a job as a bloodstock agent, he's one of my proteges.
He discovered him.
He kind of came up through the ranks as a trainer, but we would work sales together. And I feel like he's one of my proteges. And he picked the horse out. Now, he cost almost $400,000, but in today's day and age, that's nothing. And he had the fastest 3/8 drill at the sale, and he's got a turn of foot. Watch out for him. He's going to be about 10-1.
Those are some runners for Breeders' Cup weekend in less than 13 days. I should say 12 days. But we want to find out who's going to win on today's 9-race card. We're going to find out who Larry likes on today's card. But before we do any of that, let's toss the microphone over to track announcer Frank Miramati and get those early changes on today's Sunday's card here at the Great Race Place.
Good afternoon and welcome to Santa Anita Park, the Great Race Place. The track is fast, turf firm, rail on the turf at 0 feet. Here are the early changes. In the first, scratch number 13, Sabella. The second is the Enokia Stakes. Number 3, Heavenly Princess, 2 pounds over. Race 3, scratch 6, Feel the Magic. The 4th starts to pick 6, scratch number 4, Autos Magic. 5th race program, scratch of the 13, Short Man. Late pick 5 and all turf pick 3 start there. Race 6, scratch number 2, Tamarando Star. In the 7th, program scratch of 3, Be Together. Late pick 3 starts. 8th race, first leg of the late double, scratch number 10, He's Quite Mischief. And in the 9th, scratch 4, Bandolero, as well as the also eligibles 13 and 14, their super high 5 wagering. Coast to Coast pick 5. You've seen the great payouts. It's available again today, starting with Gulfstream's 10th at 2:38 Pacific. Enjoy your day at the Great Race Place. Post time for the first in 58 minutes. Let's go back to Quigley's Corner. His special guest today, Equine Scout, Larry Zapp.
Welcome back. We're talking horses with Larry Zapp. He is. It's an honor to have him on the seminar today. You've heard both myself and Frank refer to him as an equine scout. Now, you earned that designation or title, Larry, because you go to the sales and you find a lot of successful runners. Give us 2 or 3 that you found over the last decade or so.
Well, Champagne Room was a champion in
Breeders' Cup Juvenile
2016 Breeders' Cup Juvenile Filly, and I'll tell you what a day. It was high noon when she ran.
She was like 30 to 1.
She was 30 to 1. Mario Gutierrez, who we took off the race before and put Mike Smith on, who rode heels. He comes back after the win and goes, "Do you believe in me now?" It looked right at me. Like I made the decision. Always the fall guy. That's one of my cards. But, she has, I think, the best horse in the world running in Japan. He's 4 years old. He's 3 for 4. He missed a year. We're going to see him in the Dubai World Cup next year. He's by a sire named Kazuna. It's that Sunday Silence line.
Give us the name.
Champagne Pop.
Okay.
That's how they say it. And when I hear the Japanese race call, he just won at a mile and 5/16.
What about the Hong Kong runner who won in Australia just the other night?
Oh my Lord! I stayed up. I go to bed early, Tom.
He might show up in Dubai as well.
I stayed up and watched it, but he's a sprinter. This guy's a 1.25 mile horse, and he might be better than Forever Young. Yes, I just said it. They're the same age. He's playing catch up. He's a big boy. She throws big boys. The other one would be Dance with Fate, who we won the Bluegrass with, and he went to the Derby and had a bad trip against California Chrome, and we lost him at Del Mar when he was going to win the San Diego. He had just worked 58. He had an accident in the morning, and he's very missed. But he was such a pleasure to have a horse like that.
Also, We Miss Frankie.
We Miss Frankie, which was named. We just lost Frank Alicia, who everybody loved at the racetrack. Elevator Gale comes to mind. That he took care of everybody. But We Miss Frankie won a couple grade ones, took us to a Breeders' Cup, ran 3rd. There have been a few more, but those 3 would be standouts for me.
He's got a good eye, not for horses at auction, but also handicapping as well. So, Larry, let's put you to the test. Kicking things off in race number 1, which begins the 50-cent early pick 5. This is a good field of 12 after the scratch of the 13. We're sprinting 6.5 furlongs in the flat turf course for fillies and mares. The turf rails today are at 0 feet. $25,000 claimers, non-winners at 2 races lifetime. The morning line favorite in the current betting choice at 3-2 is number 3, Bela from the Bob Baffert barn, taking a massive drop down in class. Thumbs up or thumbs down on the favorite in race 1, Larry?
Well, I was expecting the horse to scratch. And then I saw before I sent you my picks, I was like, oh, didn't scratch. I'm going to try to beat her anyway. She might just be a 5/8 specialist. She's definitely going to take all the money, and she deserves it. And if you're playing a early pick 5, you probably need to use her. But I went with a different direction, and you didn't have time to show all the videos. I asked you for everything today. I had a lot of trouble notes. Freya, the 4 horse, is my top selection, and she really had, it says pinch start, too wide, but she had everything gone wrong last time. And if you watch her race before at 5/8 at Del Mar, she was really finishing late in that race when she found the little hole. And I just think 6.5 furlongs fits her really well. And if she finds the right trip today, I like equipment changes. Blinkers come off. Dan Blacker's had a very sneaky last couple of years. We know he won with Straight No Chaser, the Breeders' Cup, but this kid can train a little. I call him a kid because he's a little younger than us, Tom.
He's a husband with 3 children.
Yes, he is. He's a daddy. But Freya, 9-2 seemed like a fair morning line. I went with the 9-horse True Patriot. They've been routing this horse. This horse's best races have come around 1 turn. I'm hoping there's a little speed to go with the Baffert, and if there is, I kind of like my 2 horses, the 4 and 9 here in race 1.
Race number 2 is our feature race on today's card. It's the Enokia Stakes for 2-year-old fillies, sprinting 6 furlongs on the main track. Race 2 also begins the 50-cent early pick 4. Field of 5, 4-5 morning line favorite. Hamika from the Bob Baffert barn. Baffert saddles the morning line favorites in the first 2 races. You like the Baffert favorite here, Larry?
Hamika proved to Mr. Baffert and the rest of us she can't go much past 6 furlongs.
Disappointing when you pay $900,000 for her.
She's got a good pedigree. Klarovich sold her because he's doing what CRK, Lee Sering's doing. A lot of these guys have to sell horses they bred just to kind of make Uncle Sam happy. But, Hamika had a beautiful breeze in Ocala. Looked like it was worth the money after 2 races. And when you're a graded stakes winner, maybe it's a Curlin and he stands still for 200 plus. She's back to 6 furlongs. I was really impressed with the 1 horse's debut, second to Explorer, who's going to be one of the favorites in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile.
She came back to win the Oakleaf here.
She was second to Baffert's own horse in the in the debutante, but Explorer is a nice filly, and she ran second to her, and then she came back last time, and they bet her hard late, and deservingly so. She was very impressive breaking her maiden. The rails in a short field doesn't bother me as much. Frezu rides her back. I just think she's the now horse. I went Rivera over Hamika. I couldn't really find anything else. Now, there is a Unique Bella, the 2-horse, who's only been on, ran well on grass 2 times in a row, did run on dirt first time out. That'd be the other horse in the race, but I just went 1-4 here at 6 furlongs.
Race number 3, we're going 2 turns on the main track. 1 mile is the distance, $12,500 is the claiming tag. Scratch the original morning line favorite, number 6, Field of Magic, will not compete. Leaves us with a field of 5. Likely morning line favorite. Revised morning line favorite will be number 3, Doo-Wop Don from the Andy Mathis barn. 5-2 on the morning line. I really like the work that Andy Mathis does. He won our nightcap race yesterday very impressively with journeyman rider Mr. Arantes in the saddle. He's been impressive, I'm sure, to you coming down from Northern California as well, Larry.
Yeah, before he made the absolute move, he was coming down to Del Mar every summer and winning a bunch of races, and we took notice then, and he definitely fits, and we've had some horses with him, and he's a good communicator, sharp guy, goes to the sales, works them himself. Everything about the guy I like. And Diego Herrera's agent, Ryan Casado, actually, we talked this morning. He's trying to get on one of our 2-year-olds that we're entering next weekend. And he told me who he liked today, and this was one of the horses he liked. But I went with the horse that beat her when they ran against each other, and that's the 5-horse, Low Expectations. I just think she ran in a really salty starter race that Clouseau won a couple weeks ago. And I think the drop makes sense. And they ran 2-3 that day. I think they're the right 2 horses here. And, I'm going to try to make lemonade out of some of these lemons of races to bet on, Tom, because that's what you got to do as a 100%. Horse player.
That's what pro players do.
Yeah, that's what pro players do. And 5-3 for me in a very unenthusiastic race for me.
Race number 4, we're still sticking with 1 mile on the main track. This race is for maiden special weights. Calbreds as well. Scratch the morning line favorite once again in this race. Number 4, Otto's Magic will not compete. Leaves us with a field of 5. Number 5, Keating Thunder is the 3-1 morning line favorite. Also race 4 begins the $2 pick 6. Yesterday's $2 pick 6 here at Sania paid in excess of $26,000. So congratulations to those skilled horse players. Larry, who's going to win the first leg of the pick 6 today?
Well, the scratch is huge. I mean, Otto's Magic was 6-5 on the line.
And likely to go lower.
I didn't like the horse not changing its leads in its last race. And I say that because I, like yourself, I watch a lot of tapes, and that's what real horse players do, Tom.
But we've talked about that. In the old days, Affirmed and Alydar coming down the lane in their Triple Crown races, neither one of them changed leads the whole time as well.
Alydar, most notorious. Best horse I remember in California didn't change leads was Gentleman. And Trevor Denman once called him the best horse in the universe, which has got to be an all-time great call. But back to this.
That was before Zenyatta and some other runners.
But best horse in the universe. I didn't know what's going on in Pluto, but that's a good call, Trevor. Keating's Thunder goes back to routing. It ran a really nice route race at Del Mar. I hope there's enough pace for it because this horse is better to make one run. That the outside horse of Papadromos and the rail horse of Paula Capastros look like the 2 horses that might battle a little on the lead. I'm just hoping Keating Thunder. Tyler Bay's riding pretty good, actually, coming back this time. Toby Terrell used to always call him young Tyler Bays.
Believe it or not, Larry, today is Tyler Bays' birthday.
There you go.
How's that for useless trivia?
I did not know that.
Happy birthday, Tyler.
Happy birthday, Tyler Bays.
And good luck to his new agent, Riley Shapiro, a young man who's involved in the game. And he took Tyler Bays' book recently, and we wish both of them nothing but good luck
Riley's
going forward.
A good young man. His family had native diver.
Sure did.
And I'll tell you what.
It's in his bloodlines.
It is in his bloodlines, and he loves the game, and he's going to do a good job for Tyler. But this is the right horse on the right day. I use the 1-horse Rich Reward second. Papadromos' horse scares me a little because we have a horse named Zagrus who couldn't get the lead at Del Mar when we ran him on dirt because George got the lead. And if he shakes loose, Georgie's tough on the lead. I don't know if there's a stat on it, but when George Papadromos is in the lead at the quarter pole, he's hard to catch. So I'm a little worried about him, but but I went 5-1 here in race number 4.
Really good field in race number 5, which begins both the 50-cent late pick 5 wager as well as the $3 all turf pick 3 wager. Race 5, we're traveling 1 mile on the turf course for $25,000 claimers. Program scratch of the 13 still leaves us with a good field of 12. Morning line favorite drawn near the inside, ridden by the aforementioned Tyler Bays. Number 3, Nameless, at a lukewarm 9-2 on the morning line. Larry, before we get your thoughts on the race, you wanted to show a replay that a number of these runners exit, specifically 5 of the 12 runners in today's 5th race exit this replay we're about to watch. And this replay was way back on the opening weekend at Del Mar, July 20th to be specific. It was the 11th race. The runner we're going to watch in this replay is breaking from post position number 10 and wearing saddlecloth number 10, a runner by the name of Fantastic from the Peter Urton Barn, a 9-year-old. You'll see coming out of the gate, Fantastic gets bumped from both sides, and then coming down the lane as well as they're approaching the finish line, he gets squeezed additionally that extra time as well. Very tough trip. I don't think the running line or the trouble notes do the trip justice. So let's watch the replay together. Listen to Larry Comas describe the action back on July 20th and watch the runner breaking from gate number 10.
They're off. Fantastic got boxed about a bit coming out of the gate. Neon Lights is sent hard, so too Calm Sea from the inside. Margot's Boy came out running in 3rd, then Don't Swear Dave in 4th, and Spagato. They're being followed on the outside by Hudson Ridge, mid-pack early on, just ahead of Kerry Gold down toward the rail. Promisio is next, and then Sydney Street to the outside. Break of 2.5 lengths more. They're followed by Mega Yacht, who was 3rd last early on, ahead of Hurricane Cloud, and Fantastic on the inside. Neon Lights on top. 22-1 long shot, ran a 23.76 quarter and heads on to the backstretch clear from Calm Sea in 2nd. These two intent on the lead, and they're well clear of the others. It's a 4-length gap back to Margot's Boy, who's allowed to settle back in 3rd. Then Don't Swear Dave, Hudson Ridge, 2 lengths more to Spagato and Sydney Street. Then a break of another 2. And they're followed by Kerry Gold and Promisio to the outside. Outside of those two, Hurricane Cloud is next, then Mega Yacht and Fantastic. 47.41 was the half mile, racing for the far turn. It's Neon Lights and Edwin Maldonado in front, taken on by Calm Sea. Now they're right together on the lead. Margot's Boy is much closer now, just to the outside of those, just a half length behind. Then Hudson Ridge, followed on the inside by Don't Swear Dave as they make their way to the top of the stretch. Here's Margot's Boy on the outside, up to challenge 4 and take the lead as they come to the final furlong. Don't Swear Dave begins to roll. Promisio is there. Hurricane Cloud is moving up on the far outside. Here comes Promisio to take the lead. Don't Swear Dave battles on from the inside. It's these two nose to nose on the wire.
Larry, one of the reasons why Juan Hernandez is one of our leading riders is despite all of that trouble, he still kept Fantastic competitive, but didn't over-abuse the horse because he knew that the trouble he encountered during the running of that race was probably too much for him to overcome. Also, the reason why Peter Urton is such a successful trainer is now he's given this horse some time, and I like whenever horses return off a mini layoff for trainer Peter Urton. I have a feeling you like Fantastic as well.
I do like Fantastic. I bought him 8 years ago as a yearling. Wow. It's amazing. He's 9 years old. I bought Jetta Vader's mother, and she just got beat a dirty head the other day as a 9-year-old. And Pete does a great job, especially with these old warriors. Pete calls this guy, who's had 7 of his 8 lifetime wins at Santa Anita, a Santa Anita horse. And that's why we skipped Del Mar. And he's back to a distance he loves. He's got 5 wins at the distance. He's 7 wins at Santa Anita. He probably wasn't going to win the race after getting squeezed. But, if you watch the winner of that race, Don't Swear Dave, that's the trip you're trying to get. He was sitting in the 3rd flight on the inside. And that's who wins these kind of races. Because yourself, Tom, you run this race 10 times. You might get one horse that wins 2 or 3 times, but you're going to have 6 other winners. And that's the way these kind of races get run. I'm taking 2 horses out of that common race. Mega Yacht was the horse that prevented him from getting to the outside if you watch the replay. And he finished really eye-catching in that race, and he hasn't run. Both of these horses have been freshened. Bob Hassett could have a dangerous day. He's got a lot of live horses today, and he'll win them in bunches. Him and Vladimir Serin are my guys who just win races in bunches. And I'm using those 2 horses in a very competitive race. I'm hoping there's enough pace in the race. We have an Emerald Down Shipper that looks like he's got speed, and it's cracking time, the 10 horse. So it's 5-1 for me here, and I'm just praying for the proper trip because Fantastic is better than these horses.
Race number 6 begins the 50-cent late pick 4. We're back to traveling 1 mile on the main track. $5,000 claimer. Scratch the 2. Tamarando Star leaves us with a field of 8. Morning line favorite is number 8, Be Punctual from the aforementioned Bob Hesbarn. 3-1 on the morning line. Give us your thoughts on race 6, Larry.
My good buddy and client Dominic Savitas always texts me when something like isn't to his liking. Oof. OOOF. When I was handicapping this race,
you gave a big bark.
It was an oof. And I went with Be Punctual. You know, these voided horses, to me, voided more times than not. Sometimes it means they need sidelines for a while, but a lot of times it means they passed all the vet inspections before the race. They're the ones who lay their bodies down.
It reminds me, Larry, of, say, LeBron James, who's obviously now up in age as an NBA player. Before the game, he's running around dunking and doing layups. But at the end of the game, he's worn out. He sits in a tub of ice. He can barely move.
Exactly.
And, you know, this is an athletic. This is exactly. Imagine that, one of the best basketball players in the world.
He'd be voided coming out.
So you have to keep that into account because the thoroughbred is an athlete at the end of the day.
Absolutely. And some of them, they're pack animals. Some of them actually try to run away from their friends.
Sure.
Most of them don't, unfortunately. My clients go, what's wrong? Why did you buy a bad one? Well, that one wants to hang with his friends too much. It wasn't my fault.
You can't look into their mind. That's
you try
for sure.
to. You try to, but you can't always get into it. But I went with the 8 horse because his last race would win this race. He's pretty consistent. I said Bob Hess might have a big day today, and this looks like a very live piece for him. I also used the 1 Mother's Prayer, horse that got beat 44 lengths and 26 lengths in its last 2 races. But before that, the horse had some pretty decent form, and Steve Knapp put in a bull at 47 for a horse he's running for 5. And my sources tell me, and that source right now is either Toby Terrell or Andy Harrington, 2 of the best in the game of clocking in the morning, getting up and doing the work for us. It makes sense that this horse can run a big race. It's a nice drop in class. I went 8-1 here, but if you bought this race, Tom, I wouldn't blame you.
Race number 7, we're running the classic distance or the marathon distance of 1.25 miles on the turf course for fillies and mares. Allowance optional claiming types, non-winners of 1 other than. Race number 7 begins the popular $3 late pick 3. There is 1 program scratch. Scratch the 3, beat together. Leaves us with a field of 7. Morning line favorite from the Phil D'Amato barn is number 2, Eternal Rain at 5-2 on the morning line. Before we get your thoughts on the race, Larry, you wanted to watch a replay for number 4, Hey Jesse, the Calbred, the 3-year-old Calbred who is taking on obviously open company. Blinkers come off after a 1-race experience. This replay we're about to watch was her last race, opening week here at St. Anita, I should say, on September 28th. She's going to break from post position number 9. She's the gray, so she's easy to spot. One thing you'll see on the gallop out is even though this replay we're about to watch is 1 mile, she gives indications that she wants to run farther despite the trouble she had in this replay. So let's listen to Frank Miramati describe the action back on September 28th. Watch the runner breaking from post position number 9. She'll be the gray named Hey Jesse.
And they're off. Atia broke inward, but did break very alertly. On the inside here, Slick. Edge of Molly is close up in the early going, as is Miss Artois, who's 4 wide, but quick with those white blinkers, moving up now to battle for the lead. Ribbons is caught 5 wide into the first turn. She's followed by Cat the Confidant, who settles in mid-pack on the inside of Hey Lil Lady, with Resolve racing in between those 2. 7 lengths off the pace as the field rounds the clubhouse turn. Take a Breath is next. Hey Lil Lady is next. The 2 trailers at the back of the field are Hey Jesse and Lila is at the back. So it's Atia taking them on to the back stretch, prompted by Miss Artois in second. Then comes Edge of Molly in third as they head toward the half-mile pole. Outside of her, it's Slick, very comfortable at this stage, 4 lengths off the lead. Ribbons is next, racing side by side with Cat the Confidant in the green, who's down at the rail. It's another 2 lengths back to Take a Breath. Hey Lil Lady is 3 deep into the far turn, and in between those 2 comes Resolve, now 10 lengths off them. At the back of the field, Lila and Hey Jesse continues to trail. They're midway on the far turn. Atia has been the controlling speed. Starts to scamper away now. Edge of Molly moving through along the inside. Miss Artois next. Ribbons trying to rev up while very wide. Inside of her comes Slick. There's 1 furlong to go. Atia, Edge of Molly pounces on her at the 8th pole and up to take the lead. Down at the rail, Take a Breath is also coming with a swift run. And now Slick sit down for the drive. And Slick comes to tackle Edge of Molly. Slick on the outsides in front. It will be Slick to score by 2.
Laura, as watch the gallop, I'll watch the gray on the inside and the green silks. Here comes our friend, Hey Jesse. Mike Smith, as you watch them coming down the lane, really could never get down on his belly because he never had a clear chance to find a hole. Now on the gallop out, she shows that she might want this extra quarter of a mile. She's an interesting price play in race number 7.
She sure is, Tom. Mike Smith's riding incredible. Him, Johnny Velasquez, just amazed me.
Had a big win yesterday at Keeneland on a long shot.
Huge win. But I'll tell you, their work ethic, how smart they are. It was Jerry Belly was a lot like that later in his life, where maybe they're not as physically, they're almost as strong as the other guys. They might have lost a step, but on a horse, you just have to use your years of experience. And Mike Smith there, he didn't have anywhere to go, and he let her run for about 3 steps in the last 50 yards, and he couldn't wait to get back on her. And this is a horse, when you see him coming around the first time, you could see she's got a big elongated stride. She looks like a 1.25 1 3/8 type of horse. I've been waiting for her to get to that distance, and I'm finally glad she's making it, and I think she'll be a decent price. Phil D'Amato's got 2 horses in here. I went with the best is yet to be, a horse that missed over 2 years and came back I was in the race with a horse named Iradium for 25 today. It came back off the layoff, and now they're protecting her since that race, and she didn't get a good trip at the middle distance, but if you look at her race 2 back, it's by far her best lifetime race. She just missed it 1 3/8 at Del Mar back in August, and I think she's the better of the D'Amatos at 1 1/4. I went 4-6 here, and I'm just hoping sometimes you're just hoping there's enough pace to help you, because in these kind of distances somebody could sneak away, but I think I got the right 2 horses at the right distance. 4-6 for me in a pretty competitive race number 7.
Race number 8 commences the $5 late daily double. We're sprinting the abbreviated sprint distance of 5.5 furlongs, the main track. For maiden claiming, $12,500 is the claiming tag. Scratch the 10, leaves us with a field of 9. Number 9, Beneficial, putting blinkers on for owner-trainer Timmy Octine, is the 2-1 morning line favorite. What say you about race 8, Larry?
I wanted to say oof, but I didn't mind this race. Because I got an angle here. Seattle Surf, if you watch the tapes, she pops the gate in front like every time. It's her stick that's in question here, and she's taking a nice drop in class, and no doubt Escobedo can get a horse out of the gate. Karen Headley does a fine job, but she's just looking to get this gelding into the winner's circle. He's 5 years old, and it's time. But I'm using the horse, but I'm trying to beat him. I think there's enough other speed in here to help set up the horse I'm going to give out, and that's the 4-horse Cancun Native. Alfredo Marquez does a great job with a limited number of horses. This horse literally walked out of the gate at Los. I was there that day, and I liked the look of the horse in the paddock for the level. Walked out of the gate, made a huge visual run into the far turn, and when it came down that long Los Alamitos stretch, it was still running hard. It was this level, basically, the 12.5. But I think if the speed affects the 5 Seattle Surf, it'll help set it up in a nice 6-1. Giovanni Franco actually keeps the mount in this horse. Maybe my best value play of the day, number 4, Cancun Native, and I'm going to use the horse to beat the 5 Seattle Surf. 4-5 for me, Tom.
We close out the day. We close out the week in race number 9, offering $1 super high 5 wagering. Keep in mind, next weekend is closing weekend here at San Anita before we ship down to Del Mar. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. First post on Friday for 9 races will be 1 p.m. Pacific time. But first things first, in race number 9, we're traveling 1 mile on the turf course for maiden special weight Calbred 2-year-olds. A couple of scratches in here. Scratch number 4, as well as the 2 also eligibles, 13 and 14. So 4, 13, and 14 will not compete. Take note, number 9, Mojo Mo is a first-time gelding, the morning line favorite. Number 2, Book Clubhouse from the Sean McCarthy barn at 5-2. Before we get your thoughts on the race, Larry, we want to watch a replay for a race that 4 of the 11 runners in today's field exit. This particular race we're about to watch was back on August 29th. It was the 5th race. The runner we want to pay attention to is wearing saddlecloth number 3. Excuse me. Scratch that thought for a minute. The runner we're going to watch in this replay is going to be wearing saddlecloth number 4. And in today's 9th race, that would be number 3, Unrivaled Time. Take note of the early fractions in the race. They're very slow, 49 and change, 115 and change, based upon where Unrivaled Time was early in the race. He literally had no chance. He also had a bit of a trouble trip. But you be the judge. Let's listen to Larry Comas describe the action back on August 29th and watch the runner wearing saddlecloth number 4.
They're off. And it's Bandolero out sharply with Columnist and Flashy Fritz between them. These three speed out to the front. Three Putt came out running in fourth and behind them, and then Doing Time, followed by No Joke and Teres. Break of three back to third Beer, who rides the rail into that turn, 6 lengths off the lead. It's another 2 to Passion Doro, who is third last early on, ahead of Sleeper Sullivan, and Unrivaled Time is last of them all, some 13 lengths off of Dueling Gray's Columnist and Flashy Fritz, who will take him to the backstretch 1-2 with Bandolero third on their outside, 23.31 the quarter. 3 Putt tucked in fourth down toward the rail, just 2 lengths off the lead. Then Doing Time, No Joke and Teres, and third Beer toward their inside. Break of 2 to Passion Doro. Sleeper Sullivan is 8 lengths behind up the backstretch and leading only Unrivaled Time. They continue their journey toward the far turn. Still Columnist and Flashy Fritz, 49.4. Easy second quarter there for them. Bandolero perched just to the outside of them. 3 of them right together. 3 Putt and No Joke and Terry's just behind that group, and then Doing Time. On the inside comes third Beer. Passion Doro is next. And then Sleeper Sullivan and Unrivaled Time. Around the far turn, still Columnist on top and shaking away here. Columnist shakes away to lead by 2, coming toward the top of the stretch. Bandolero has moved up into second, and No Joke and Terrace is gaining ground on the outside. Trying to squeeze through traffic is third Beer in between horses. 3 Putt is down toward the inside. It is Columnist in front. No Joke and Terrace is coming. So too third Beer on the outside. Third Beer!
Larry, if there was a dictionary for thoroughbred terminology, being green for Unrivaled Time, as we can watch on the far outside here in the Gallop, would certainly fit that description. He was very green throughout most of that race, including not having any early speed. But I do believe he has ability, and one of the reasons why I think that is because of sire, Not This Time, one of the most prolific sires we have in North America. He is not a California stallion.
No, Sonny Paez, our friend, everybody's friend, he was smart enough to breed a good mare, Margot Machance, to Not This Time when he only stood for 45,000. He just got bumped to 250. He's had an incredible year, and he's mostly prolific on turf. He throws dirt horses too, but on turf especially. And Margot's boy's the half brother, and he almost won, I think, the Del Mar Derby a few years ago. Bottom line to this horse is he was green. Leonard Powell's as good at working with a young horse's mind as there is in the game. I got a lot of horses with him. I think he's helped this horse quite a bit since the race. I expect him to show a little more professional. We need him to be more professional because I think the 2 Book Clubhouse is the horse to beat. He's coming out of that race won by Mulholland Drive, one of the horses I was part of buying. And I'll tell you what, 3-2 should get the job done here. I think they're the 2 best. They're 2 best bred horses in a race, and they're probably just the 2 best horses in a race.
Larry, you always get the job done. Thanks so much for your time and insight today. We're running short on time. Before we let you go and listen to Frank Miramati update us with changes, 2 more quick reminders. Coast to Coast Pick 5, $1 minimum, starts today at Gulfstream Park, race number 10, 2:38 p.m. Pacific time. And keep in mind the $1 Sunset Pick 6, combining our last 3 races here with the last 3 races at Gulfstream Park. Once again, 1 winner yesterday paid in excess of $11,000. Have a great afternoon, everybody. Wish you nothing but the best of luck, and we'll see you again on Friday.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our national anthem. Good afternoon and welcome to Santa Anita Park, the great race place. Track fast, turf firm, rail on the turf at 0 feet. Here are the changes. Nothing new to report in the first scratch, 13, Sabella. The second is the Enokia Stakes. Number 3, Heavenly Princess, 2 pounds over. In the third, scratch number 6, Feel the Magic. There is a revised morning line posted for race number 3. In the fourth, scratch number 4, Otto's Magic, and there is a revised morning line posted for race 4. The fourth starts the pick 6. The fifth begins the late pick 5, scratch 13, Short Man. In the sixth, scratch number 2, Tamarando Star, race 6, take out the 2. In the seventh, the program scratch at number 3. $3 late pick 3 starts there. The eighth, scratch 10, He's Quite Mischief. Late double begins. And in the ninth, super high 5 wagering offered. Scratch 4, Bandolero, as well as the also eligibles 13 and 14. Enjoy your day at the Great Race Place. Post time for the opener is at 1 p.m. in 26 minutes. Don't forget the Coast to Coast Pick 5. Offered Friday, Saturday, and Sundays. Begins in a little more than 2 hours from Gulfstream with their 10th.